Hell yeah.
Welcome to the Blatantly Obsessive Media Makers podcast, where we talk about things on a semi-frequent schedule and record it. I am Snake Jess, and these are my co-hosts.
I guess I'll go first. Hello, this is Julian, otherwise known as Julian My Julian. And as I always say on every podcast that I am on, I podcast standing up.
You actually standing right now?
I am.
Wow.
Okay, I'm sitting down.
It's meant to be a joke, but I guess other people don't get why it's supposed to be funny.
See, if you're podcasting sitting down, it means you're a woman. Just
Damn.
kidding. I am sitting down. Well, that doesn't... It backfired. But anyway, I'm Speedheart, the Living Storm, half of the Natural Disaster, the Two of Spades. That's all the titles I have. Thank you.
Have you considered adding Wielder of the Afro Heart to your title?
No, that's secret. You're not supposed to know that.
Are you familiar with the Afro Heart discourse happening in the voice acting community right now?
No, why don't you explain that little number there?
So, a bit of a background. I had aspirations of becoming a voice actor probably like 10 or so years ago. People would always tell me, oh, you have such a good radio voice. Oh, yeah, I could listen to you read the Bible. You're such a good Christian boy. You should do cartoons. And so I wanted to do research. I wanted to learn, how do I get into voiceover? So in addition to all the other research I did, I follow an inordinate amount of voice actors on Twitter. And Twitter voice actors are the most annoying shitheads ever. Like, I don't care who you are. You know, if you are a working voice actor, you probably are a really annoying poster. And
damn,
I guess like that annoyingness had to get turned up a bit. Like someone had to turn it up a notch. I don't know who, but some guy was throwing shade at another voice actor saying he's not allowed to voice characters of color because he lacks Afro heart.
Afro
And it
hearts?
started this whole meme of like people dubbing over anime clips and like recontextualizing the lines to be about like whether or not a character has Afro heart. Like someone did dub of the scene with Dante and Virgil, where Virgil is asking Dante to give him the pick that Dante has in his hand, presumably for his hair. And Dante's like, no, you have your own.
What the hell?
And it's just bizarre. But I've been going around asking people, do you have Afro heart? Can you get away with voicing a POC character in an anime?
I don't even know if I have Afro heart.
It's hard to tell.
Makes me a false black.
Damn.
But no, I have not heard of that phenomenon.
Yeah, I usually try to keep stuff like that under my hat. Like, this isn't really a drama podcast, but it's so bizarre. I just had to bring it up.
What's foist your guys' mind? What's grinding your gears?
So, have you guys both seen Weapons yet?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I forgot. Well, I didn't forget. It's just I couldn't bring myself to go outside. It was freaking hot.
Understandable.
But I am okay for the sake of conversation if you want to discuss it, and I'll listen.
It's well, I won't say too much or spoil too much, but it was really good. I was like, yeah, I was impressed. I didn't watch really the trailers. I just kind of vaguely knew about it. I hadn't
seen any like teaser or trailer. I just knew, oh, the Barbarian guy is doing another movie. Well, gotta see it.
Yeah, pretty much. I saw maybe one clip of some kids running at night, and I'm like, oh, that'll be something. Wow. Okay, so it opens with kind of just this like little kid talking, like doing this framing device of saying like all this weird shit happened in this town, and they do the whole setup of like the mystery. And I guess what it's about here in here is all these kids disappeared from a school one day, like one night in the middle of the night. They all left their houses and ran away, and no one really knows what happened to them except for one kid who didn't.
Whoa.
Yeah, and the kid doesn't know nothing, and the teacher doesn't know anything, and everyone's like, what the fuck, and they can't find these kids, and everyone's pissed. And the movie takes place a month after this has happened.
They eventually
And-
reopened the school, but the kids
Yes.
are still missing.
Yes. And they're having like a meeting with the parents at the school, the principal and stuff. And the parents are saying things. They're mad. They all think the teacher's involved somehow. The teacher, you feel bad for her at first. Like, someone says something, Josh Brolin's character, he flips out. Josh Brolin plays the dad of one of the students. We don't have to worry about him, though. What I like, because what the movie does is it follows characters. So the kind of, it starts, it follows characters in days. yeah.
Some people
Like
have
Sonic
described it
Adventure.
as like, Sonic Adventure, or was it Rashomon, where it follows a bunch of different characters' POVs until the end.
Yeah.
I like Sonic Adventure
so-
better.
Yeah,
This-
that is more
But anyway,
contemporary.
go on.
Just through their day, like from each character's point of view. So eventually, we're gonna cut to a different character and start the day over. But every movie follows characters, except for part. Well, the butt was the character in part. So, but yeah. So
I did
At
see the
first we see-
trailer.
You did?
Yeah, because in the trailer, it's like I thought it was gonna be centered around the teacher, because I guess there's a teacher character.
That's who it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it starts you off on.
Okay, go
Yeah.
on.
Oh no! I'm curious. What does the trailer show you? I'm really see what you saw going. What you've seen already.
It's been a while because I think I was probably the first person who posted the trailer in Cheesy server, but it does a lot of fade out black shots and then missing children posters. It like shows like the kids running around outside at night, and then just shots of the teacher and like people yelling. I think people are like kind of chasing the teacher, I think. And then I think it shows the kids like running down the street with their arms out. And then that
Okay.
was the extent of the trailer.
Okay, cool. Interesting. So you're basically going in pretty blind. All right.
Yeah, I still don't know what the premise is.
All right. Cool. Okay. So this is perfect. Okay. So right now we're following the teacher. They're at a PTA meeting. It gets heated. They're dismissing it. The principal is like walking her out to her car, is keeping the people away, like don't, go home. Don't, go straight home. If you can stay someplace else, stay someplace else. Don't cause trouble or whatever. Teacher goes home. She's an alcoholic, we find out, because like she's going to the liquor store. She's getting liquor and she's going home and she's drinking, and yeah, that's pretty much this night. I don't remember if anything weird happened to her this night or not. I don't remember that.
Was it
But-
like her accusing her at first?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they all
Okay.
think that. Yeah. That happens like at the PTA meeting. One of the parents is like making a big stink. But like realistically, she's been working with the cops. She's talked to the cops. She doesn't know anything. She really, But the teacher, especially Josh Brolin's character, is really angry. She goes home. She goes to work. We find out she's kind of asking if she can talk to the kid, and we find out that she's like a teacher who's nice, but maybe goes like the one kid who didn't disappear, and the principal, who is I forget this actor's name. I think like Benedict Wong maybe is his. He's really good. I've seen him in like a bunch of stuff now, but he kind of drops some hints that she's like maybe a teacher that crosses some boundaries or goes a little bit too far. I guess at her last school, she drove one of the kids home one day, but that was because probably it was like a justifiable reason, right? And she said it. She's just caring, but it did come off bad. Everything's a bad look
Yeah.
right now. So he's like, don't do it. And she totally does it because she's a dumbass, and the kid's like, stop following me, and yells at her. And she goes out to a bar. She meets up with a dude, it's because at some point when she was leaving the school, she saw like a police officer. I don't know if the school is like just next to the police place or whatever, but she saw him walk in. She waved at him. We don't really know who he is yet, but she's at a bar. The dude shows up at the bar, and they're like chatting up. She's being drunk, all flirty with the dude. He's like telling her that he's not a thing with his wife anymore, but like no, we're not doing anything. He's not drinking. He also, I think he has like a cut on his hand, but he says it's just a work thing, not to worry about it. And he's like, they're just doing their thing, but he doesn't want to have a drink, and he doesn't want to spend the night with her, and she's kind of pressing on it. And then there's like a cut, and it's the morning, and they've slept together, and he's hungover, obviously.
Mhm.
But he's kind of not about it. He's a bit like of a dick, and she drops him off, and then she goes to figure out what the next stuff she's gonna do is. And then at some point, we keep following her for quite a bit. She tried to talk to the kid and it didn't work out. I think she goes to the kid's house at some point too, and she sees that like there's weird shit in the house, like there's like newspaper all up and in the walls and stuff, and she can't really see inside, and the kid's going inside and she doesn't see the parents or anything, and so she calls the principal and she's like, hey, you know that thing you told me not to do? Like, I went and I just did that anyway. Could you like call in a wellness check or something, because this shit's fucked? And it's like, no, I can't call in a wellness check because you did this thing that I explicitly told you not to do. Like, you can't. No, are you insane? Like, what the fuck? You're a crazy person. And I'm gonna do you the favor, pretending that I didn't have this conversation with you. And she's like, well, can you just ask to see the parents or something? And it's like, listen, okay, I will ask the kid to have his parents come see me at the school for just to calm your ass down. But I'm not sending people to their house, and you need to stop pulling this shit. Because you're trying she's gonna get fired or something. And so she agrees to that. So anyway, we get to a shot of her in her car at night, middle of the night, across from the house, from like the little kid's house, because she can't mind her own business. She has fallen asleep in her car. All right, we are looking at this house. The door open to the house, and a body of a person that we don't really know, just rickety kind of walks out with scissors. Like, not even like scissors, like, right, Julian? Like, they're kind of like shears almost.
Yeah.
Rickety
Really big
walking.
scissors.
Yeah, big walking shears. Walks out all creepy, gets into the car, steals some hair, walks back. And that's pretty much it.
Steal hair?
Yeah, steals hair from the creepy teacher.
Okay.
Yeah. And then goes back into the house. And pretty sure she just wakes up from that and leaves. It's the morning. She's going to do some stuff. I don't think she does anything huge here until she goes to like the gas station. And this is when she bumps into Josh Brolin's character for like a second, who we'll talk about what he's been up to in a little bit. Actually, I think some more time has to pass because there's going to be stuff from some other perspectives that we don't see for a bit. But her next scene's going to come. The big thing that comes is that I can remember. She's at a gas station sometime later in the day. She gets accosted by a lady who is the wife of the cop that she has slept with. While that's happening in this really public way, she starts trying to escape from that. The principal looks like fucking zombie faced out of his mind.
Like his eyes are poking out of his head.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's like all sorts of messed up. He's just like chasing her ass, and Josh Brolin's character tries to help, like fight him off. And they're doing everything, and they just can't. He just keeps going and going and going. And it cuts. And then who is the next character that immediately shows? I'm trying to remember if it went to, was it Cop Guy next?
I think it does switch to the cop because
Yeah.
that was the first other character we were introduced to. But then it goes from the cop to Josh Brolin.
Yeah. So then we loop through the characters and their days. So that's when we find out the cop is married. You know, we're going through his day in the morning. He's a police officer. For some reason, he's married to the chief police guy's daughter, which is great because we already know that he's going to cheat on her. So that's awesome for him. They don't really do much with that. He seems like a hard ass, but they don't really bring it up too much. The big conflict on his days, we find out he sees someone breaking into a building and he tells them to stop and they run, so he gives chase. And he does eventually, catch this dude after some, I think, needlessly reckless. I mean, he's just breaking. Whatever. Anyway, it's not neither here nor there. He catches him. He's shaking. He's a dick cop. He's shaking him down. He like punches the dude too. Like, he's asking the guy, do you have anything that's gonna stick me in your stuff? Like, do you have any needles? Because I don't want to get needled. And the guy's like, no. But he did. After a few pockets, he gets poked by a needle. So he punches him in the head and it knocks him out. He did it right on the camera. And he's like, oh shit. And he goes and he unplugs the camera, but it's too late because he already fucking did the thing. So he's like waking the junkie up. And he's like, come on, dude, wake up. Listen. The way I see it is, you poked me, and that's what's fucked up with the thingy, and I hit you, and that was fucked up. So how about we do this? We're both just gonna go our own ways, and we're gonna go our own ways, and I just don't want to. I don't see you again, or else. And that's that he goes off, and we see him having a conversation with the boss, and the boss is like, "Fuck, dude. Okay, well, here's the thing. That footage is gonna sit on a server for like 3 months, and then it's gonna get written over. So as long as he doesn't come in here and make a complaint, you're good. Okay. So just we're just gonna lie low like that."
Which doesn't happen.
Yes, it is not.
Like, I think he sees the drug guy almost immediately after. And he just starts chasing him again.
Yeah, it is like the day after, the very next day, because after this he's going to go meet with the teacher. This is how he injured his hand for that conversation with her. And he sleeps with her because he thinks his wife is out of town, or she is out of town for some like event. She ends up coming home early because of some other circumstance. So he thinks he's getting away with this cheating at first. He does the cheating. He goes into work the next day after having done that. And that is when he sees the junkie and then gives chase. And then I don't remember exactly how we transition, when it cuts off from, I think it's here, or I don't know if there's anything else. I might have missed if there is. But at some point, it transitions away from the cop. We go to Josh Brolin's character, and then we hit the junkie, and that kind of brings us... Oh, and then we hit the principal, and that brings us to the end. Right? I think. Right, Julian?
More or less, yeah, because when the principal... He basically dies, right?
Yeah. He's like, okay...
Josh Brolin's character has already triangulated the location of the house, but I forget, like, there's a blank space in my head, like, when do they actually go to the house?
Okay. So, that part happens because the junkie ends up leading police to the house. So, the cop chasing the junkie basically ends up causing... Because the junkie was going to the police station to report the house. The junkie basically is just a junkie. So after the whole incident with the cop, he was just like going around looking for things to steal. Like, this guy is hardcore junkie. I'd be like, He's taking
Yeah.
little kids' tablets and like will try. He's taking anything.
That
trying to
scene
get
at the
$5.
pawn shop was hilarious.
Oh yeah, he's going after nothing. And he just like tries to rob houses, and he just happens to see this house that belongs to the little kid that like his creepy ass family. And he just notices that they had built up newspapers, and his junkie brain is like, I'm gonna rob this place. So he goes in, and the house is like messy as fuck, but it's quiet and there's no one there except for like, I think the parents are in there, but they just sit, they don't move, they don't really give a fuck. So he's like, okay, cool. And he goes upstairs and he gets a pillowcase. At first I was like, what the fuck is he doing? And then it's like, oh, of course, it's a bag. So he can put stuff he's fucking stealing in. And he's like robbing. And he goes, and eventually he makes his way like downstairs. And I think he sees there's like a glimpse of like some kids in the basement. And then he remembers, oh shit, there's signs, big sign that like for the missing kids and a whole bunch of money. And he's like, oh shit, I got my payday. So he tries to call in the tip anonymously to get the money, but like there's a billion people going for tips and like no one wants to like, yeah, so like they're not like gonna give him the money. He's like, oh shit, but I like, how do I want to get the money, but I can't, I can't go to the police because like I don't like the police.
You're robbing
man,
the house. Oh.
Well, yeah, because but they don't even know that he robbed it yet. But he's even like, I'll go into the station, but I hate going into the station. Can't you just give me the money? And they won't do it. So eventually, he's like, we'll go to the station, and that's why he's going to the station. He's not even going to report the cop, which is extra funny. Then the cop ends up chasing him. He ends up getting caught by the cop again, and then he's like, well, yo, I'm not trying to talk about that. I know where the kids are. Let's go. I saw them, and let's go together. We'll go check it out. And that's how they're getting there. At some point, we know the principal, he actually did call to see the kid's parent or legal guardian. And that is when we get introduced to the kid's aunt. And this is like... she is wild. She is...
I do like a wild aunt.
Yeah, she is like... double toasted. I was listening to it. They described her as like auditioning for the Joker.
Oh.
It reminded me of what was that movie with Nick Cage?
Ghost Rider?
I'm so bad with names. No, he was in this movie where he was like a serial killer. But I think this is the start of a trend of like, isn't it scary when people put on makeup and are pale? Ooh.
Yes, for reference.
Oh,
long legs. Yeah.
This is what she looks like.
Oh. See, I saw this in a Blue Sky post, but I don't know if you've seen Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, but they put this lady next to Linda, who's at the end of that show, as like a big lore reveal. Actually, I can find her real quick because I don't know if you guys have seen that.
I saw the first few episodes, but I didn't finish it.
Damn it! What the fuck is her name? Leslie. One sec. Here's a good picture. They put that lady next to this one. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So I had no context for that either.
Okay, wow. I don't know.
She's like, I don't know, the god of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared world.
Okay, I'm just gonna put this over that. Oh, so that isn't looking at me.
And now I completely memory hold the last POV switch where it switches to the kid.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. As
even though that's the part that like literally explains everything.
Yeah. Well, I think it is I think it's appropriate though, because I think it is like the last thing we get to before the climax.
Yeah.
So we're I don't know. I think we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, I need to know what the fuck this has to do with the kids running like idiots.
That's how you're feeling in the movie in the seat sitting there. You know, this movie has like a 2 hour something runtime. You do not feel it at all. You're like interested, intrigued, every
Yeah, my brain is
every
like spinning so many different ideas of like what exactly is going on. And every theory turned out to be wrong. Like at one point I thought in my head, oh, is it like an MK Ultra thing? Are half of of the adults in the town brainwashed or something? How many
Yep.
people are under the control? It turned out to be much more succinct than that, which I
Yeah.
preferred.
Okay.
Oh, a couple notable things really quick here to get into about about Josh Brolin's character. So one, we've seen some weird stuff in dreams a couple times for a couple characters, but they're not super significant. They don't answer any questions, and they're mostly jump scares.
Mm.
But
Which is funny because the director said there weren't any jump scares in this movie and he hated jump scares. He lied.
yeah,
It's good marketing.
thankfully they're not
Lying.
that
Yeah.
they're not that
It's
bad.
true.
They're not. I wouldn't call them egregious, but like I would throw them in that category. But there's an interesting thing they do with like a gun with a gun in like over in like the father's dream. He sees like a gun over the building. So the father figures out where the building is by like he goes around collecting footage from the parents who will give it to him because the cops won't give it to him, and he sees how the kids like go out from all the cameras, and he figures out what direction they're running, and he figures out they're vaguely going in this place. And then when the principal had attacked the teacher, he noticed that he was running with the same kind of posture as the kids, and like a heat-seeking missile at the teacher. And he was going nuts. And when you see it in the movie too, it's crazy.
Hmm.
So what has happened is the aunt comes in to see the principal, and the principal is like, "Oh wait, you're not the legal guardian? Shit. Well, I actually have to see the legal guardian. That's actually really important. So, can I come to your house and see them because I kind of really need to, or could they come here?" And she's like, "Oh, well, they can come here Monday. It's just they're really sick, And he's like, "Okay, well that'll be fine then."
Who
And
is this aunt lady played by?
let's find out.
Not somebody I would recognize based on that makeup and performance, which I guess means they did a good job.
Amy Madigan.
Okay.
But she steals one of the principal's little doodads. He has some doodads in there, some like ribbons, and she steals one. And this is the weekend. By the way, this is a Friday. So it's gonna be the weekend. We cut to the next day. The principal's at his house with his partner. They're like watching a documentary about bugs or whatever. Yeah, the partner is bringing food. Then the Aunt Gladys or whatever knocks on the door, and the principal's like, "What the fuck? Fuck this shit. This is like no." But then the principal's partner is like, "Oh, come on in, come in." And they let her in the house, which is terrible. That was a mistake. And they're talking, and then the conversation gets weird. And then she asks for like a bowl of water. And they bring it out. Then she does like creepy voodoo magic. She's got a stick. She's got like a personal effect from the principal, a weird creepy little bell, and she does her little magic, and I guess it lets her control people, and she makes the principal like kill the oh yeah, she like pulls the hair off the partner, like she just does it at some point. It's really weird, and it's like so out of pocket, and they're like, "What the fuck did you just do?" And then she's like, it spirals so quick. It's so
Yeah.
funny. Oh man. She does the thing. She makes the dude kill the partner like nothing, and it's like really violent. And then she
Ooh.
pulls out the hair that she had her little underling collect from the teacher earlier, and puts it on the thingy, and is like, "Go get her." Does a little thing, and the principal just immediately starts running towards the lady. Like, magically already knows where she's at and just starts running, but it's like far ass away. And covered in like blood and shit. This is why he's all like fucked up from like why he looks like a zombie when he starts attacking
Right.
the teacher. So that's what that ties us into where we were, which is Josh Brolin's character saving the teacher from being attacked. And then the teacher and him get to talking. It's like, you know, the guy's like, you know, they kind of mend fences a bit, you know. He does not think it's her anymore. Then they combine their knowledge. She knows at the center of where that stuff is where the kid lives, where he has kind of triangulated. He hasn't figured out the exact place, but he's like, oh, it's around here. She's like, oh, well, the creepy kid's house is here. Oh, they're all running to the creepy kid's house. Okay, cool. This makes sense. And that leads them to going to the house. And then they get to the house and they see the cop car here. So they see that, like, a cop has been here. Which, you know, we know that is the cop and the junkie.
Yeah.
Who have left earlier. So I think now is when we cut to the explanation of the kid. So now we see the little kid experience. And we see he's like going to school or whatever. All the kids are there. He's like getting picked up by his dad. They tell him that the aunt is coming to live with them for a bit because like she's sick and she needs to get better. The kid's like nervous about it and doesn't really like it. The dad doesn't really like it either, I guess. But like the mom's the sister of the aunt. So like, you know, they got her. It's really important. So the aunt shows up in the middle of the night and like she's creepy. You don't really see much of her. And this keeps going until like, you know, there's a turn and the aunt like turns evil and she's like mind controlling the parents. And she like shows the kid and she makes the parents like stab their face. It gets like fucked up. And but anyway, basically scares the kid into compliance under basically the threat of like the mind control parents will like kill you and whatever. So that's why the kid's going along with everything. And we see that the aunt lady has like used the kid to get personal effects from all the kids. I'm guessing she's trying to suck the life out of them to get better because she's like really sick. And she gets all the personal effects. She's using her spell in the middle of the night, which is why like it's that specific time at night. She gets the kids there, she controls them, she hides them in the house. They clean the house or whatever, and then make the kids go off and hide someplace else when the police come to investigate. But they make it so like they don't know if the kids are somehow. Then they bring them back, and they've been keeping them there this whole time. And as people have been stumbling onto it, she has been like, you know, turning them into like zombie things. You know, that's why the parents are there. You know, she is the principal. The cop and junkie have been caught as well. They're in there. And it's all set up. And the kid is like, wants to get rid of her. Has been kind of piecing it together. But the house is booby trapped. There's like salt lines. And if you cross them, some of the thingies kind of go after you. They, you know, lock on. Josh Brolin's character and the teacher are coming in. They cross, some of the lines. They have to fight the junkie and the cop, and they do that. The kid breaks into the like aunt's room where she has like her thingies, but that triggers the parents, and he has to run from them. But he gets like the important little doodad. At some point, the aunt had managed to like turn Josh Brolin's character on the teacher, and so they're kind of having a struggle. So there's like a bit of a ticking time clock. The parents are going after the kids, so, the tension's building. But he manages to find the thingy. He has a thing from, like, the aunt's wig, and he puts it on there. And then he does the bam and magic thingy. And he sicks all of the children on the aunt. And she realizes what has happened. And she starts running. And the kids start running. All of them. just chasing, and they like burst through windows because there's like so many of them. They're all trying to flood, and like they're sprinting, and it is like comedic, over the top, like total like cartoon. Like in the theater, like people were like dead ass laughing, but like it was earned. Like no one, like everyone was on board with it, and they like run to like strangers' houses, and the kids come like as a stampede, and they don't like hurt anyone else. They don't like, but they bust up everything. And they're like after her, like that's it. And eventually they catch up to her, and they just rip her ass apart. And when
Kind
she
of reminded me
dies-
of those mutants in that game, Days Gone.
Days Gone. I have to like.
No one remembers that game?
I know that game. It's like one of those. It's like one of those games. Like the one.
Oh, is that a biker
one that's
zombie game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never played this, but I have seen.
It looks
feel
like what's it called? Red Dead a little bit.
In terms of world design, yeah. It's going very much for look at all of this rural American land that probably would just be chopped down in real life. But yeah, the image of like the kids almost like running on top of each other in tandem reminded me of that. It made me wonder if there are any other like depictions of that kind of feral activity in film.
Well, it sounds like the way they did the zombies in World War Z, the adaptation. Or
Oh,
they're
yeah, I
the
didn't
way
see
they're
that.
running, they're just kind of like falling on top of each other like water.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, but
They really
it
wanted
sounds
that
like.
to be a big thing. There was a video game, I think, at one point.
But
Oh, shit,
Was
was
that-
there? I've never. Was it an adaptation of the movie,
it was
or was
probably
it like
ass.
an original?
It probably was bad. I never played it because I hadn't any care for the movie. I just remember thinking, oh, that's interesting. They made a video game based on that movie I don't care about.
Wow. But yeah, so she dies. As soon as she dies, her control ends on like Josh Brolin's character, so he's not going after the teacher anymore. And he's like, "Whoa, what?" And he starts walking. He follows the debris, and he sees the aftermath of all of this stuff. You just sees he's going and he's following the whole trail. He's all the we see like this family. They're like just looking at their house. They're like freaking out because like all their shit's destroyed, but like they're all okay. But they're like, just what the fuck? And then he walks through, like no, just
Yeah, that was
like,
funny. They see him and then they start freaking out because they don't know why he's there.
Yeah, but he's like coming through normal, like but just like befuddled. And then finally he finds his kid and he picks his kid up and carries him off. And at some point we do see some confirmation that the little kid is okay. His parents have stopped like going for him, but they're not really better. Then we get some voiceover from the little girl that did the original voiceover, who we've never seen. And she had been speaking from the future tense this whole time. She had been talking about this thing that happened at her town last year. And she's like talking about how, and then after that, the little kid, the main kid, went and lived with a different aunt. And I hear they're nice and they're fine. And the parents didn't recover. And the kids, some of them, like a year later, are talking again, but some aren't. That's about it. And it ends. I kind of like that framing device. That was, I don't know, fun. I was because I realized at the beginning of the movie I had been waiting for that kid talking, that first narrator, to show up or something. But then
Yeah.
they never do. And then you forget about it because there's so many things going on. And then at the end, when it happened, I don't know, it was good. It's so well paced. You're never like, I never felt like I was like bored in the movie. I was always like on board with everything they were doing, and then it started off very like serious, and then it kind of started to get funny.
How did the little girl know all the perspectives of the other characters?
That is how a lot of the response to the movie has been. It's just a lot of people like in questions and then going,
Well.
why didn't the movie answer this very niche question I have?
Wow.
The biggest one I've heard was this was on Double Toasted. They did like a Q&A, and everyone kept asking about like, what did they do about the kids like going to the bathroom? Like everyone's, I didn't think about that at all.
What?
They're all very concerned. Like, how did they like?
I
Deal
think
with
it's
that?
better that we don't get a depiction of what that entailed.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
like,
how did when did they talk about 9/11 in the movie? Was there any reference to the time period that it was going on in?
I've kept this to myself for the longest time because I didn't want to be mean to everyone who has this sentiment, but a lot of people
Uh-oh.
have said that the movie has no themes and they're like clawing, grabbing, grasping for anything remotely close to resembling a theme and getting disappointed when the movie does not like actually follow through on what they think the theme of the movie is.
Oh boy.
And I don't know, I feel like that's a bad way to watch a movie.
Yeah, like it sounds like their problem is they can't accept that it was just a horror movie and not like some great subtle analogy to something else. It's like, dude, just stop.
Yeah, like
Sometimes.
if we have to moralize it, if we have to turn it into an after school special, like I guess, takeaway could have been that town was particularly vulnerable because the people in that town didn't really know each other. And, you had to be like the teacher who went out of her way to care about her students in order to like actually have prevented what happened from happening. But that's also like way too on the nose and kind of, I'm not sure how I would describe it, like a babification of
Right.
the movie.
Yeah, if
Like,
someone came out
sure,
and
that could be
said-
your takeaway, but also, ugh.
if someone came out and said, "No, see, the message of the movie was about the lack of community and how we need to," yeah, like shut the fuck up. I'm done listening to you already. But I don't know if that's what they get from it. At the same time, I'm like, yeah, sure, but also it sounds like just a horror movie, which is fine, which we need more of. TBH.
A lot of horror movies do have like theming going on, but I think it's bizarre to treat every film with that kind of intent. Like,
Yeah.
by that logic, we could say every Marvel movie has no themes because it's so clouded and in its close to the chest vest with what it wants to say about anything.
Well, see, every movie either has satanic themes or pro-Christian value themes. If you think about it.
That tends to be true, even if you have to squint.
Is Jess still here?
I've seen places that, or rather, I know from experience that people can find a way to make anything anti-Christian.
Yeah.
if they want to.
It goes both ways.
That actually would be fun to like take a handful of early 2000s movies and then put through that filter. Like, is Drumline pro or anti-Christian?
That would be funny. Isn't there a website called... There's like some IMDb type website, but for like Puritan Christians. And
Yeah,
it's
it's got
like...
some really pedestrian name like Common Sense Media or something.
Yes, that's what it is. Common Sense Media. It's like... it's close to the letterbox, but every review is like whether it just tells you what... They just like list off bullet points of typical things Christians don't like that are in the movie. There's no actual talk about the movie. It's just, oh, this has a gay kiss scene in it. It's just like reporting on it. It's like, shut the... This is nothing. Just like
they're also
little
very
warning signs
weird
for
with
them.
their age ratings. Like, yes, this is TV 14, but we're telling you, kids age 9 to 11 can probably watch this. And it's like,
Wow.
okay, rewriting the rules, huh? I'm actually glad that my parents didn't know about this website because they would probably have looked at it.
Yikes.
when we were kids. Because that's kind of like their approach to a lot of stuff. Like the moment my dad saw anything he didn't like, we weren't allowed to watch that anymore. And we had to basically like negotiate in order to get to watch certain things. Like, I don't know why, but he saw the Gangrene Gang from Powerpuff Girls and was like, I don't like that. And we were basically had to be like, okay, what if we just skip episodes with those characters in it? Because all these other characters, they're great. You know, Mojo Jojo, the Amoeba Boys, Fuzzy Lumpkins, and he went
And
with
him, the devil is
that.
cool.
We
He's
made
fine.
sure to never bring up him. We were
The
like,
literal
okay,
devil.
we're just gonna skip that part. Maybe he won't notice.
Just turn those episodes to a different channel. You know, because
See, on Common Sense Media, they would probably like, you can't watch this show because it has the devil in it. Even though he always loses because he's a bad guy and the Powerpuff Girls are good guys. We don't like the even portrayal of the devil in any regard.
Yeah, I'm glad we got away with it though, because a lot of him episodes are really good. Like that one where he has the girls do a sort of like treasure hunt / riddle quest, and he keeps like threatening, you better figure it out or the professor will pay. And then they fail, and then the professor has to pay for, I guess, subpar pancakes at him's diner.
They have to pay for like Waffle House or some shit.
Yeah. And then the professor is like, I'm never coming back here again. And then him is like, wait, I promised to make my pancakes cheaper.
I haven't gotten a chance to see any movies. I wanted to see Weapons, of course, but I also wanted to see Naked Gun and then Superman. And I haven't seen anything yet.
I think Superman got a home release now.
yeah,
Whoa.
I've probably watched it like I don't know. I really like Superman. I can just throw it on in the background. So I put it on in the background when I'm like working a couple times. I think it holds up for like kind of I don't know. I really liked it.
That's all I hear, which is a good thing. But instead, I was using my time to. I finished watching that show Woke, or at least season one of it, of what I could. It does tackle some more social issues, so I feel like what makes that show feel kind of dragged out is that like the first episode or two is really based around the real life incident of the artist Keith Knight, and everything else is just kind of like whatever they felt like talking about that those episodes. So I
like
left
his
off
one
around
friend who is a weirdo player. Does that ever like turn into a thing?
No, it does not.
Damn.
And actually, I was gonna get to that because we left off like episode 4 when we were watching it in the Discord, and after that, there's the one. When I came back to it, it was just like an episode of just them in the house, because the episode prior was about the one where he's going to like a black art show. Because he goes to the previous one, and he's like, "Oh, I'm being exploited and fetishized here. I don't like that." And then he goes to the black one, and he's like, "Oh, I can't really stand out amongst my peers." And then he has to cover up his relationship with his white girlfriend at the time, which offends the white girlfriend. And they're having like relationship problems. But there's a subplot where his white friend from Workaholics, who may or may not be the same character, just in an extended universe, in my opinion, because he just acts like the guy from Workaholics. But anyway, in the episode I came back to, he hooks up with like this couple, and in this episode it's just them all talking in the bedroom, and I'm like, what the fuck does this have to do with anything? Because like he it's his first time in a threesome. This couple is like super horny for him. They keep touching him and everything. They keep touching his hair. They braided his hair, and then they basically go to the bedroom to have a threesome, and I don't know what to do. So the first thing he does is touch the guy, and the guy gets offended. He's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! What are you doing?" And he's like, "Well, I thought we were all being intimate together." But it's like implied that I guess it's supposed to be irony that in this like very promiscuous couple, the guy has a problem being touched, but it's like, who cares? This isn't. I don't even know who's supposed to be on trial here for like, oh, this guy isn't, I don't know, sexually okay with himself to be allowed to himself to be touched with another guy. Meanwhile, he's so super okay with sharing his girlfriend with like other people. I don't get it. I don't know how this hasn't happened before in this relationship where somebody is touching him instead of the girl. But
wait, had the guy not been okay? Had the guy not been touching him already? Like, I thought, had he?
Oh, no.
I don't know. I thought he had already been involved in touching him, or had that not happened? Had it only?
That's what I thought. Because I'm talking about like the couple here. The guy in the couple, he somehow freaks out at the fact that another guy is touching him. But it's like, how has this not happened before? You know, if they're like I guess they're supposed to be representing like a poly couple who are introducing like a third, but it's dumb. It's a dumb subplot. It has no impact. That's my point. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then his misogynist friend is in the living room, and they're all having a conversation about how like earlier in the season, they find out that the lesbian who was a fan of the main character's art, who owns this publication, her ex was at the black artist meet, and then they go back to the main character's house to talk about it. It's like, oh, and the misogynist. He's like, oh, what was your problem with your ex? Did they cheat on you? And she's like, I don't want to talk about it. Then the misogynist character is like, oh, well, wait a minute. You cheated on her. After all this time, you've been lecturing me about how to treat women. You're the one who cheated on your ex.
God,
what's up with that? And like, why is this a character? I'm just like, why does this have to be revealed for the lesbian character? Like, she can't just be someone who like shuts down misogynist. She has to have some kind of flaw. I'm like, okay, and where are you going? This shocker, it doesn't go anywhere in the rest of the season. It's just like the woke lesbian has faults too, I guess. Sure, whatever. Anyway,
Imagine
moving on.
Two people in the writer's room explicitly representing both of those characters, and they're just taking shots at one another through the script.
Feels like it, I guess. Okay, so they have their conversation, and then it moves to the main character and his white girlfriend that he met like a couple episodes ago. They're talking about like, oh, maybe we went too fast in our relationship. We can't like be normal about it with each other because, you know, race differences or whatever. And it ends with like the main character being like, you know, I don't really care, and the girl's like, you know, I don't really care either. And then they half like patch it up. They half decided like, oh, let's just be friends with benefits. Okay, sure. And that was the whole episode. It was just about just the relationship stuff. I'm like, this isn't really a social issue being tackled at all here. So I'm just like, that was a bad episode. So the next one is about I think I talked about it a little bit in Cheesy Server. It's the one where he's riding the bus. He's trying to get to a lawyer, and he can't make it in time because the bus is stopped in traffic. It's like, why is the bus stopped in traffic? You know, because there's a koala that escaped from the zoo, and the cops are trying to look for it, so all the roads are stopped. And then this homeless guy gets on the bus, and he's like, there's like a whole dragged out scene where he's asking everybody for money, and everybody ignores him, and then he goes to sit in the back of the bus. And then everyone on the bus is talking about the koala and how they're gonna donate to the koala's GoFundMe, to their Kickstarter, to this and that. Like, though more will the point of this episode is to show that like people are more willing to do stuff like that than just give money to the person who's asking for it, who like needs it like immediately, than rather than a fucking animal or some pointless, I don't know, maybe not pointless cause, but like some cause that is not in front of them is the point of the episode. It's like, okay, I get it. This is a commentary. This is a good commentary. And then the main character gets upset that everyone's like talking about this fucking koala, and then even there's like a news report on the radio that like the cops accidentally shot the koala. So, and then another character says like flat out, this is basically our Harambe. I'm like, okay, way to be subtle about it. Hold on, I'm gonna get some water. Might have to edit me getting up.
Oh my god. Basically, our Harambe is so bad. Yeah, this sounds like something else. I've not seen that episode, but it sounds like a trip.
This entire show like sounds like an accident. It's
Okay, I'm back. So they finally get off the bus. He couldn't get to the lawyer in time. So they go around the corner in the alley and they find like this protest. I showed a picture of it. They find this protest about how they want the cops who shot the koala to be suspended or fired. And then this is like a huge, I wanted to say this is like a huge parallel to George Floyd, but I'm like, no way. But then on somebody's signs, it was like some name, or I say, God, what's that woman's name? There was a lady in real life who was killed by the police, and then her name was on it. And then I remember there was Travis, or no, it was Trayvon. His name was on this guy's billboard, and then the koala's name on the bottom. I'm like, okay. So, and then the main character gets upset at like everybody in this protest. Like, well, you guys you don't care about like real things. You care about this fucking koala, and he tears on the whole protest, and they start getting mad at him. And then I don't remember the climax of the episode, but that episode just ends. Fast forward to the last episode. It's finally a callback to like the central plot about how like the guy at the beginning, he was tackled for trying to post like a flyer for his art show with a stapler, and then he finally gets confrontation with the cop who tackled him in the first episode. But it's like a weird formal invitation to this bar, like, oh, do you want to drink it out, or do you want to? They basically trying to like talk him out of the lawsuit. Actually, no, that's not true. He gets a summons in the mail in the beginning of the last episode. He's about to be sued by the cop that tackled him. Which I guess in today's day and age, I can imagine happening. Like, oh, you were a victim of police violence. Guess what? You're getting sued by the cop who did it to you. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So he agrees to meet with the officer at the bar. He is like kind of isolated. They rented out the bar just for this exact moment, which is kind of suspicious. So they're like talking it out. And actually, what's kind of funny in this episode is that they're debating on whether or not to go, because like they're worried about like any slight movement or any wrong sentence will like set the cops off and just kill them instantly. So they're like,
Yeah.
oh, what if you raise your glass of toast and then the glasses break and he reacts to the glass breaking and he fires a gun at you? Or like, what if you pull your stool out from the chair? You pull out the stool from the bar and sit down, and they hear something, and then they shoot you. There's just like scenarios like that. They just come up with like 5 ways that he can get killed just for going to the bar. And it's like, okay, this is funny. So they rent out the bar. They go down, they sit down, and then the cop is just like, so, we cool? And the main character is like, what the fuck do you mean we cool? Like, you you tackled me in the beginning of the episode. He makes a new comic. It's a police brutality one where it's like, what was it? Oh, it was like he was like pointing an arrow at the cop saying innocent until proven guilty, and then what do you call it? The person being arrested in this comic says guilty until proven innocent. That's like his commentary. And then because of this comic, that's why he's being sued by the cop. And then back in the bar, he's saying like, after you made that comic, my son used to look up to me, and now he thinks I'm a bad guy. So I'll take an apology whenever you're ready. And it's like, wow.
Crazy.
So the main character is like, what do you mean? And then he puts it all together that like why they are isolated, why this isn't like in front of the press, because they have all the press outside. They're not allowed inside the bar. They wanted this to be a private conversation so they can like settle it out privately without getting the court involved or whatever. So he uses his time to like really say what he wanted to say to the cop. He's like, you know what, this is for... So he's thinking, I'm just going, if I flick this water at you, is that going to be seen as an aggravated assault? And he's like, well, are you threatening me? Because if that's true, then I guess I can treat it like that. So, but the main character knows like this isn't really even hurting you. It's just fucking water. So he uses this moment to flick water at him for every time he was inconvenienced by a cop. It's like, this is for this is for that, this is for that, and then this is for tackling me when I was just posting my posters up. And then the cop gets angry, and then there's like a hard cut to him in jail for doing that.
Yeah.
But then right before then, he's like, the cop is like showing his true colors and all that, and then the main character says, there you are. There's Mr. Richardson. There's the cop. There's the one. I was wondering when you would come out. Like, this is this big reveal. It was like the cop was just putting on a fake fucking face. So yeah, now he was in jail. Then he got out. That was a very fast scene. And then it just ends with the press asking him, are you going to keep using your art to tackle social issues? And then it's just freeze frames, and that's it. That's the end of the show.
Interesting.
So I did feel kind of like slightly unsatisfied towards the end. Like I thought it would have a better punctuation point. Like I thought it would be about the case, not like just him confronting the officer. Because I don't know. I thought they would wrap it up better. Yeah. But I guess that's what the artist did in real life, is he just kept going on to do his art. And I haven't seen much of the real artist's art, but I guess he does a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. But there is a season 2. I don't know what that's going to be about, because the site I used to watch it went away because Cloudflare was doing something weird. But yeah, I watched that. And then I watched season 2 of Sausage Party, the show.
How is that?
It's not like super funny, but I was really interested in seeing like how much more they could take this idea. Because Sausage Party, the movie, basically ends with a food apocalypse. And then the show is a continuation of that. And I told you all about season 1 already, where they're trying to form their society and they keep trying all these forms of governments and nobody's happy. And then it basically ends with Frank, the main sausage guy. He commandeers a human like a Titan or like a Jaeger, and he uses that to control everybody. So after they try democracy, after they try like they try democracy, they get laughed at. The bread character who dies Brenda, she suggests like communism basically, and nobody is down for that. So season 1 ends in them or in Frank just using totalitarianism with the human, which I thought was funny. So at the beginning of season 2, they're like things are slightly better, but Frank is making everybody share everything. So like there's a character like driving like a little toy car, and then he has to stop and get out of it to share it with somebody else. I was like, okay, I see what you're doing here. It's like, no, we hate sharing. We just want to go back to owning stuff. And then and then the citizens of Foodtopia want to kill Frank, so they conspire against him, and then they exile him with like 2 other characters out of the city. So then they go to a different city where all the food is like, it's like a food utopia, hence the word foodtopia. But it's run by a different set of foods, right? They ran through all the government types, and they figured out a way to like domesticate humans by just giving them like super suits, so that they give them suits so that the food can pilot them in the cockpit, because haha, humor. So they get driven around kind of like vehicles or like construction equipment in the city. So Frank is on the verge of like figuring out what they did to get their society like this, because he's been trying to do that with the original place he's from. But the plot twist is that this city uses their humans to go on like raids and other places and since they domesticated their humans, they feed them with like other with other foods. So it's kind of like a Soylent Green as people thing, but with like food, because like they go on fuel raids, and then they find out that the fuel is other foods. But it's like
in Walking Dead when they find the cannibal places.
I guess because like the foods pilot the humans to go to like camps or like other food cities that just eat them all. And then it's a pretty like similar scene to the part in the first movie where the lady is eating like all the carrots or whatever. Yeah, but it's just like gory stuff with foods again. This part is kind of funny. Or like they rip a bag of chips open, or like there's like a beer keg that's trying to survive, and they just like stab it and start like sucking all the beer out. And they just got like cartoon arms and legs flying everywhere. Like, okay, this is funny. They do play in with the fact that bath salts are needed to make it so that the humans can see all of them still. Like there's a part where that their human companion from the first season, like the bath salts are wearing off, so they have to find a way to pump him full of it again. But in the new city that they go to, they give everybody like bath salt patches that last for a certain amount of time, so that they can all perceive the food as alive forever, I guess. And then their human character has like a love interest with another character who says that she's been teased all her life for liking horses, but now she gets to live her life as kind of like a horse, and it's weird. It's like, well, I get to be a horse for the food, so it's like, who's laughing now? Like, okay. So yeah, Frank finds all this out, that like the foods are being cannibalized to fuel their humans in this new city. So, but the new Council of Foods in the new city want to use Frank's original area as like a food raid place. He's like, oh no, we have to go save them. But it's like, they kicked you out. Well, why? So they go back to Foodtopia to warn everybody. And then there's this whole chaotic mayhem scene where like the humans are being like stabbed and killed, and like they're all like just fighting each other, fighting food on style. And it ends with like the humans being like, okay, we don't want to be part of this anymore. So they run inside this car, and all the views are coming to kill them because they want to kill all the humans. And then out of nowhere, this helicopter just drops down and picks up the car that all the humans are in, and flies away. And it ends with the military putting them in this like human reserve because they found out a way to to kill all the foods, which I don't think. I just now think about it, like, don't you need bath salts to perceive them anyway? Does that mean the military and all the other humans gave themselves bath salts? But
Yeah, that's what
Whatever.
I'm like curious about. Like, what's happening in like Japan right now? Do the food there, are they just not freaking out? Like, are they aware of the U.S. is falling to bath salts and food perception? Like, what is happening in this world?
I want to say we've only seen 2 cities so far within this show.
Localized phenomenon. The government
So-
of America maybe isn't even aware of it yet.
I don't even know if America is aware of it, but it seems like it's post-apocalyptic, kind of, like
For this town.
mid-apocalypse, mid-apocalypse.
You know what?
But they
This is
don't
like
show any
a-
part of the world, so any other
This
part
is
of the
a
world.
town, right? Where they're like a food desert, and this was their only shop.
Yeah.
So like all the humans were subservient to this food supply,
Mhm.
but it's the only one here. No one else has noticed it going missing. No one else, So like, no one's coming. It is the end of the world for this little area because it'll never be noticed that it's gone and the food have taken it.
See, like, I don't know where they are, but there's a part where when they get exiled, they have to cross like this desert highway all the way to some other city, and like, but they find like dead humans along the way and like body parts everywhere, and like, okay, is this the whole world or the state or what? I don't know.
Maybe
yeah.
maybe some food got out, and once just there's just enough of bath salts there for it to turn critical mass. Like, they only needed so much to figure out how to manufacture and distribute their own, and then from there it was game over.
Let's see.
They're like an intelligent food eater virus, or so like.
Yeah, and I don't know where
Or
they're
maybe
going
this is
with
Florida,
that
and
anymore.
there's just so much bath salts there, it was inevitable.
I would buy that it's Florida. That's it. That's the comment.
It's like when you have so much, matter so dense it collapses and becomes a black hole. You get so much of this, it starts the reaction.
And
We're
they
like
did
all an
do
advanced chemical reaction,
yeah. And they did do a very timely Will Smith slap reference. Frank says something about some peach, and the half sausage guy, he slaps him and goes, "Keep that peach's name out of your fucking mouth."
Oh my god.
And Frank says something, and the other guy's like, "She has alopecia. She can't grow fuzz under that part of her skin." I'm like, "Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up right now." And it was like so random too. Yeah, everything. I told you the main parts. There's this like other subplots where like Frank is self-centered and uses everybody, and his ego is the problem, is why he's been exiled. And yeah, like I said, the love romance between the human and the other human that is like glad to be fodder for the food or some shit like that.
Yeah. Shit. They're going places. They're swinging at some fences.
And then yeah, at the end, the government guy reveals like, oh, there's like this giant red room where they have some weapon. I don't know what the weapon is. Probably Shadow the Hedgehog. Who knows? But that's what they end on.
Wild.
What else have you guys done?
I saw the Toxic Avenger movie.
Okay. Did it really have Peter Dinklage?
Yes.
All right.
It was quite. I liked it a lot. Actually, I really dug it. I recommend it. I can't wait for it to get a home release so I can buy it.
I can't wait for the remake of Stupid Samurai or whatever his name is. Right? His name is like Samurai Hamurai, the lame guy.
Oh, the side character one. Oh, I can't remember the.
Sergeant Kabuki Man.
Yeah, Sergeant Kabuki.
Yeah, can't wait for the gritty remake of that.
They did not reference him, sadly,
Ah.
but it was good. I did like it. It was. I feel like it kept the spirit of the Troma stuff. You know, I feel like it
That's
did.
good.
It kind of felt like that. Just kind of modernized. I don't know. What was the budget of this movie? I'm curious. I know it was made in like 2023, and it's just been like distribution hell.
Well, I hope Seth Rogen got his money's worth and he redirected those funds to something else.
He did voice Frank still. Usually for like the TV shows, they get somebody else, but he still is the main character, which I was shocked. Also, the taco is dead probably, and then the Bagel's love interest, the whatever that the Giro or whatever it is, he's dead. The bread is dead. A lot of people die. I like that.
Yeah, a lot of people are going around saying that Viv C Pop is terrible for adult animation, but I feel like it's coming from all sides. We've got Sausage Party on one end, and we've got Has-Been Hotel on the other end. Two shows I'm pretty sure nobody's really watching, but they all have thoughts about a show they haven't seen.
Has-Been Hotel.
I did not know what the budget was on this. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm not watching those.
Good. I like. And Elijah Wood was in it too, which is like, and Kevin Bacon.
Whoa.
Yeah. They're all
Who
quite-
plays the? Is it Peter Dinklage the whole time, or is it like?
Yes,
Oh,
he is.
okay.
He is.
He's doing a voiceover, but the actual
I mean, he
Avenger
is
is another guy.
costumed up,
Okay.
being a.
I didn't think they actually
he's
would
like a
put
short
him in
monster
a.
guy, you know.
Hmm.
He's pretty old. I had looked it up, and they do have a costume performer for the majority of his scenes. And then he's just doing lip sync with the performer under the mask. Like the mask is made up to kind of like look like his face, but it is another person in the costume.
But they do keep him like his size, like in
Yeah.
like, you know, like they kind of keep it to match him,
Mm-hmm.
which I like. And they do find they find kind of a funny way. They did like some funny nod to like the choo-choo a little bit in the one in a part, but I think they set everything up really good. It's quite fun. They have this like 90s new 2000 new metal like parody band that like function also on the side as like gangster killer people. They're like Insane Clown Posse meets Linkin Park or Limp Bizkit. Like if you put those two together, think of that's what it is. It's very weird, and they're like kind of villains for a lot of the movie, or at least like the first tier of people. They're really bad though. Like they do kill people, but they like always kill the wrong people or not enough people. Like they're really comically bad at it. There's a really funny part where they hole up the Miss Meats. So they don't do it. This different group does it. I forget their names. They're like a parody of like the Proud Boys or something, but like they're really violent. They're mad that the Miss Meats because it used to be a Mr. Meats and now it's a Miss Meats.
That's like getting mad that Miss Pac-Man exists, even though Miss Pac-Man is more fun to play.
We can't have Miss Pac-Man anymore. We only have Pac-Mom in all the official games now, which for some people is kind of better.
Yeah, I'll take any kind of Pac-Man, really.
I'll take any kind of mom, really. Wait, oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What? Wait a minute. Also saw Audition for the first time last week at a friend's house.
Was it
Have you guys
good?
seen? Have you guys seen it?
I have not.
Oh, it's like a old '90s Japanese horror movie, psychological horror, kind of. Or you've heard of it at least, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mike film.
Yes.
He does crazy stuff.
But it did end differently than I thought it would. I thought, because I'm going to say this because it doesn't end this way. But I thought it was going to end with the girl cutting the guy's dick off. Which happens in a different movie called The Neighbor. It's like a old, I guess not even old, but this is like a mid 2000s movie. But I thought The Neighbor was ripping off The Audition because it had a similar scene. But this is like a, is it The Neighbor? No, it's not The Neighbor. Damn it! What the? Oh wait, I think that's the twist. I believe that's the twist.
I'll be right back. 1 second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I am a terrible Mike fan. I have not seen every movie he's done.
2009. This is what I'm talking about. As you can see,
It's a PlayStation 3 video
I need to get more
game.
water while she's gone. We jiggling or?
So what I wanted to mention about this poster is that it gives big PlayStation 3 video game vibes.
It is 2009.
Like, I should be able to play this character in third person. It should cost $20 minimum.
She's like someone you play in like Prototype, like a skin or something.
Back. Sorry about that. I've never seen this or heard of this, but
Oh yeah, I thought this was a movie that was ripping off Audition. But the premise of Audition is there's a lonely man in the beginning who is seen at his job. He has a son and he has many women in his life. I think he's like a doctor, and he has a nurse who works under him, and then he meets his son's like date or whatever, and then somebody suggested, I think his son suggested to him that he should get a girlfriend. And he's like, nah, I can't do that. And also he has a dead wife. That's why his son suggested that. And he's like, maybe we can do like this little screening process with a bunch of women somehow. And then he knows a guy who makes movies. They make like shitty, cheap movies. But he knows a guy who does that, and he suggests, we could hold like a fake audition where we just screen a bunch of women, and then we can either make the movie or cancel it. Doesn't matter. You pick the woman you want to talk to, and so he does. And then they screen like 50 women. They give him like these like old school like applications where it's just like the picture, some little essay on them. So his coworker, or not his coworker, his friend tells him to read all the things thoroughly because you don't know what these women might be like. And then he reads them all and he gets the one that he really likes, that he wants to be for the movie. But while he's talking to her in the audition, she seems kind of straightforward and just like answering all his questions like he said. And then his friend's like, that one is weird. I don't know what you see in her. But he spends more time with this lady in particular for the rest of the movie. And that's the premise.
Wow.
And things get weird from there.
Is it like a yandere kind of a movie, or is it a different kind of twist?
Actually, it's probably the first. I want to say it's not like Yandere. No.
Okay. Well, I wish I had something to bring to the table. Like, I have been watching a lot of stuff, but my brain's recall is not super great. I have been doing a project where I'm watching one movie a day throughout August. I'm calling it August I'll Watch a Movie Today.
Very creative.
With the intent to like have a little blurb at the end for each movie after I've watched a movie for every day in August. It's going, I guess, is how I would describe it. But I'm also like, I don't know, I guess the act of turning watching a movie into a thing is not my speed. Because then I start like overthinking, like, oh, but do I really want to add this movie to the list? I better add this movie to the list.
No, yeah, I
Or are
couldn't
you
do that
concerned
either.
about like, oh no, am I only watching slop films? I better switch gears and watch a real movie. I better watch Whim of the Sad Toy Nobuko Teacher and then get bummed out and then have to pivot to watching a feel good film like Pain and Gain.
That sounds. I would be real bad on a list on a thing like that. I would not. I would not make it. Have you missed a day, or have you finished it so far?
Pretty consistent so far. The last movie that should be in this list is Batman Forever. I usually remember to update it like at the end of the day, the next day. But I think for September, instead of like just doing a bunch of random movies, I'll try to have a theme of some kind. But I haven't decided on a theme.
Interesting.
Yeah, I gotta be in the mood to like sit down and watch a movie, like genuinely. All right, I
feel
could
like
watch
I'm
it.
always in
Come
the
up with a
mood.
list of shows to watch, but not like a huge list of movies.
Yeah. Shows are definitely more readily watchable.
And I could delve more into the 2B realm, but I think I won't.
I keep hearing
think
good things about Tubi.
no. Well, probably what you can watch on there is cool, but I think I'm one and done on the 2B originals. Is what I mean.
Yeah, I'm sure those are
What
bad.
TV originals have you seen?
I've only seen Please Don't Feed the Children, which is a horror question mark movie.
Is it not scary?
Is it? It's very not scary. That's why the
Damn.
question mark is there. Because like I talked a little bit about it as I was watching it, but it starts off like the most generic YA movie adaptation like you've ever seen. Like it starts off with like some girl running away from like police lights, and it's like dystopian already, and then there's a narration.
So you're telling me this is more like, you know, when you say please don't feed the children, they're really saying like, are you afraid of the dark? Level scary, like you say young adult, that kind of level of trivial thing.
Well, by YA novel, I mean that like just literally how it starts. Because it starts by explaining you the rules and what happened in this world. Like, oh, there was a virus that made adults turn into cannibals, but that's only been spread by kids. So they try to keep the kids away from adults, which inconveniences adults. Which so now all the kids are now exiled from society and they're being oppressed and all this stuff. It's like it starts off like I'm watching the Divergent or some shit or the Hunger Games, you know, and then it's just you're watching like kids on the run. So you're following this girl who just explained all that in a monologue, and then she's running. She's trying to steal from the store, and she meets this guy, and then like, oh, we'll steal together. So when they're running away, they're running. You can hear like police sirens going on, like be on the lookout for 2 kids. And remember, please don't feed the children. I don't know what that means. Like, shouldn't it be don't feed the adults who have turned into cannibals, or like what? What's the implication that like if you feed the kids, they're also being like hunted for some reason by non-cannibals. So I don't know what the problem is here. So they run into this little hideout with like a bunch of misfits they've had this hideout for like a long time now. And then when the main character's new friend introduces her to everybody, he's like, "You brought a new person here? She can't be here. She needs to go." It's like, no, she's cool. She's okay. And I'll wait for Julian to come back.
Oh, I finished King of the Hill finally, the new season.
Sorry about that. Hope I didn't interrupt.
Oh no.
No, yeah, fine. All right, so where was I? They're back. They're in the hideout, the little ragtag hideout, and they start immediately distrusting the main character. And she wants to go somewhere. She's trying to get to this place. Because she heard about through this pamphlet that that there's like this haven where kids can be safe and not hunted. So she wants to go there. But they make fun of her. It's like, "Oh, you really believe that place is real? That the place doesn't exist?" And then they start explaining to her like the terms, the typical, we call them seekers. The seekers want to find us, so they take us to their holding house. The typical terms that you would hear in like a YA novel. So because she's there, something happens and they all get caught, and then they get mad at her, but they realize they have to take her with her, or else they might track her to them. So it leads to this scene where they all jump inside of a van and they're driving off away from the cops. And they've driven for a while. They're all talking about learning about each other and what happened. And then they all explain to each other. They all explain to the main character like their roles. Like, oh, he's the thief. He's the driver. She's also a thief. And then she's like the scavenger or whatever. And then they run out of fuel. So they stop at this gas station. And then there's this dumbass fucking scene. Okay. So they want to steal gasoline from the pump. So what they do is they have one of the kids, he has this like tube where he's gonna put it into the gas tank and then suck it out and then put it in the tube and then put it in their car or whatever. However they did that in real life. So while that's happening, 2 other kids pretend to be like grown up, like, and go into the counter and like make small talk to the cashier. And they see that she's on the phone, so it's like they try not to risk saying too much because she might like alert the authorities. And then there's like a news report on TV or the radio or something like, "Hey, if you see like a van full of kids, we're coming to kill them, so be sure to tell us all about it." So they try to distract the cashier. Meanwhile, the thief, the girl who says she's the thief of the group, she's trying to steal like chips or something, the loudest fucking thing you can pick up. And then she sees some guy and she freaks out and she bumps into the shelf, which knocks something over, and it causes a scene. It's like, this is the thief, the professional thief of this group. And then they all freak out, they run out, and then somebody pulls out a gun, and then somebody gets shot, and then they bring it, and everybody gets mad at the main character. I'm like, she didn't even do anything. Your dumbass got all of you caught because somebody had to pick up chips. Like, these kids are dumb. So the guy who's been shot is bleeding out, and they're like, they take their van to some secluded house in the forest. they start knocking on the door. They find out it looks like an old house, right? But they find out it has this like advanced security system where all the lights turn red, and then nothing happens. I guess this never comes up again. This little security system. But this lady opens the door. Who is the lady on the movie poster? She has this English accent. Well, nobody else does. And then she's like, I really shouldn't take you guys in. Are you guys being followed or something? And then they're like, yes, but we need a place to stay. We'll just be out of your hair in like as soon as we get him patched up. And then this is the part in the trailer actually where they go to her house and she lets them in and she makes them all cookies. And then the first they're like, should we even eat the cookies? Should we do this? Should we do that? So like, while she's out of the room, they're like stealing all her shit. They're like going through her drawers and cabinets or whatever. And like they about to take her car keys. I'm like, okay, well, even if she was a murderous psychopath, like she let you in her house and you steal from her, you kind of deserve it. So
You should.
So, like, the cookies she made turns out were drugged. So, after they all take a bite, they all, like, slowly fall asleep. And then they all wake up without their clothes inside some room in the attic, all the way at the top of the house. And okay, I guess I do know why this happens. But it makes it implied that, oh, she's a cannibal too. So, she's preparing the kids to, like, eat them. So she keeps them all in this room, but she has like a fondness for the main character. So she puts her inside of a different room in like this special bedroom belonging to her kid that died. But the main character doesn't know that the other kids are inside the attic with all their clothes gone. And she makes them all, she takes this shotgun into the room and makes them all like clean themselves. And it's really weird, and you don't really know what's going on for like most of the movie or like why any of this is happening. So the kids are in the attic, and then it's the next day. So there's an investigator coming down, and he sees that the car that the kids drove in is in her driveway still. And then he asks the lady of the house, like, hey, have you seen any kids come by through here? We were looking for them. And then she's like, no one's come by here. Like he's like, what about this van? Oh yeah, that's my van. It's like she's like a really bad liar to this investigator. And there's some other dialogue showing that they knew each other for a long time because the investigator knew her husband, who you realize like is dead. And
So does he know that she's a kid eater?
well, stay tuned, Julian. So you find out that her husband and her kid are dead. That sucks and everything. So, but like, there's a crack in the window of the attic that the locked kids are in. So they see him downstairs in like the driveway, and one of them wants to yell for help because that will get them out of the house. And then the other character's like, no, don't tell them that we're in the house. They might actually help us. And like, this is dumb thing number 2 that these characters do. Heaven forbid that the investigator bring backup to, or maybe the thought process is like, oh, if they know that they're here, they might go somewhere worse. I don't know. If they're being hunted by the authorities, maybe. But anyway. So they let the investigator go, and then the main character is hanging out with the lady of the house, and like every step of the way she's trying to kill her, and the lady of the house is just oblivious to everything going on. Like there's a scene earlier in the movie in the bedroom where she picks up like a thumbtack, and she's like getting ready to like stab her with it. And then she's like, I know you have the thumbtack. Just put it down. Don't even think about it. And she still has like the shotgun in her hand. And then the girl who's like being treated specially is like, okay, whoops. Well, I guess I didn't think that one through. And then there's another scene where they're having dinner. She's only having dinner with her because she's being special treatment. And then while the lady of the house gets up to go get something, she takes like a fork and puts it behind her back. And when she comes back to sit down, she still has it behind her hand. And then she's like, I know you have the fork behind your hand. It's like, why? You know she's trying to kill you every step of the way. Why do you keep her like by your side all the time? And then there's even worse scene where they're going to her garden in like this greenhouse in the field, and then she's crying because the lady of the house is crying because she can't get her any of her plants to grow. And while she's doing that, the main character picks up a shovel and is like getting ready to hit her with it. And then the lady instantly turns around, and then the girl is like, "Oh, here you go." Like, oh, it's so frustrating. Sorry. All right, so fast forward to the investigator comes in a second time, and he suspects that the lady is lying. Later in the movie, one of the kids gets like uppity with the lady of the house, and then she makes that girl go to this chamber in the basement of the house, or it's like this room where hot water comes out from the ceiling, like a shower head or whatever, and it just sprays the hot water everywhere and just like wipes them clean, I guess. And then you never see that character again. They're just in the shower room, and then they're gone. And it happens to a different character in the movie too. Let's see, where else? Okay, so one of the kids in the locked room finds out how to get out. She crawls through like this crawl space and then tries to get something in a different room. I think they try to get matches or something to burn down the house with, or I don't know. But the lady finds out that they've been sneaking out, and then she locks off their little secret exit. And meanwhile, the main character and the other kids like meet up and like they decide what to do, and they're all like planning to do something with her. And then they find out they eventually figure out a way to like drug the lady. So they do. They try to escape the house. I don't remember what happens, but they all get captured, and then it's. The main character gets sent down to the basement. She gets sent down into the room where, like, what the water is. And then she ends up in this third room that we haven't seen yet. This is, like, towards the last third of the movie. So you find out that people being sent down here are being fed to the lady's dead husband, who was a zombie. I'm like, oh, it's a zombie movie. It's not a cannibal movie. What the fuck?
That makes more sense.
Yeah, so she's trying to keep her husband alive by feeding people to him. But there's a part that bothers me from the trailer because it looked like it made it really seem like the lady was a cannibal. And there's a scene where the girl is like, you can see it in this little poster. She's like in this oil drum filled with like blood and guts, but like that scene is played in reverse in the trailer where it looks like she's being sucked down into grinded into it, but in the extra movie it's being played with her crawling out of it because she figures out a way to like get around the zombie and she has to like go down inside this oil drum and she comes out through the other side to escape. But that's the scene they play in reverse for the trailer. And I'm like, oh my god. So she escapes to the living room where the investigator is there. He's like, oh my god, what's happening? And then the investigator shoots the lady because she wakes up from her drugged nap. And then the investigator freaks out and shoots her, like I said. And then immediately after that, the zombie bites the investigator. And then somebody like grabs a hold of the shotgun from the lady and like shoots the zombie. So now like all three of those characters are just dead on top of each other. And then they just walk outside. I was like, it's very anticlimactic how like all three of them just like die in 5 seconds, you know? they go outside. They find out there's only like 2 survivors at this point. There's the main character and then the 2 other kids. So, but they're right before they get into the car to escape. They found out that one of them was bitten, and then you can see in real time that like his bite mark is spreading to the rest of his bloodstream. It's just turning black, and he's losing his skin color, and he's dying pretty fast. And then he's like, "You just have to shoot me. It's over for me." And then he dies. And then it was a girl. My bad. That one of the girls that was left alive dies because she was bitten. So it's just the main character and some other kid that are in this car. They're driving down, and then the main character gives like this half-assed monologue about like, well, I guess also a part of growing up is that you just don't know what life is gonna throw at you sometimes. I'm like, you could have said that about anything. This like, there's just this half-assed line at the end, and then it zooms in on the kid with her in her car, and then the final shot is on his like the veins in his arm turning black. It's like, oh, and that's it. That's Please Don't Build the Children. That's a Tubi original. That's it. That's the only one I'm watching ever.
It sounds like what people think Disney Channel original movies are, except some of those were good.
Disney Channel. I don't know what Disney has like implied cannibalism. I don't know what Disney Channel movie has that.
None of them. But the plot progression as described, the way characters make decisions, very indicative of that.
It's kind of like Goosebumps, if you think about it. Yeah, but then who was it that shared the video about that guy talking about like blaxploitation going across Tubi? Because I watched that guy's video after that, and then like all the movie posters I was seeing while browsing Tubi made sense. I was like, oh, this is just kind of like the junk food movie originals going on here in Tubi. Like Tubi originals, most of them are how do I say this? Well, at least in the video, it was described as like a new form of blaxploitation because it was like a platform that was, I guess, considered cheap for modern black film directors or makers. So they would all just end up on Tubi. So you get weird posters like the one I shared. What was it? Like Sorry or something? Let's see. But anyway, it made me not want to watch any more Tubi.
Yeah, I'm realizing now that I've never actually been to Tubi's website. So I'm at tubitv.com right now, and the marquee is showing me I can watch Hotel Transylvania right now, free. Naomi
if you watch
Osaka,
stuff that already exists, it's probably cool for that.
Straight Outta Compton. But that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for the originals, which I'm surprised I'm not getting hit with an original immediately.
Tubi original.
Let's see.
Well, you just gotta find the page.
Are they like hiding them? Oh wait, here we go. Tubi originals.
Yeah. There's
okay, so Naomi Osaka is a tennis person, so that's a Tubi original. She's a tennis player, and this is her documentary. So that's at least one original on the marquee, and it's probably the safest one to have on the marquee.
You got Under Fire, the Trump assassination attempt.
Oh my god.
You got Nick Cannon's Big Drive. And a bunch of like, it looks like revenge romance drama movies.
A lot of them have that vibe, like Rhythm and Blood. Okay.
Yeah. And then there's My Husband's Mistress, and then A Kill for a Kill. Like, let's see.
A lot of Diddy stuff. Like, is there enough Diddy stuff for 5 Diddy films?
And then there's Vicious Affair. On Trial, Young Thug, Sugar Mama, Forever Us. It's just like the sheer amount of just whatever this genre is, just black relationship revenge drama. I don't know what that's about, why Tubi originals are all over this.
I guess like there must be some data somewhere that says this is what people want to watch. I'm sure what they're doing is data driven because the companies that they have like what I'm assuming are just like distribution deals with, TMZ, Vice, those are like known brands, but they're not just like flushing everything they produce on there. They're like cherry picked for the audience.
Oh, this is a perfect. What do you call it? Quattro of those types of movies right here.
We're seeing a lot of westerns.
Toxic Harmony, Best Friend, but with like a knife through it. The Manny, and then Girls Getaway Gone Wrong. It's like all these murderous romance movies. Like, why?
Yeah, who knows what the like return on this is?
Yeah, what's this?
That actually would be interesting to see. Like, what is the lowest viewed Tubi original? And what happens when something doesn't perform? Do they just stop making more of it? Or do they double down? Nobody wanted to see Sinister Surgeon, but they stuck with it and ordered Clickbait Unfollowed.
Yeah, don't you want to see Clickbait Unfollowed? A group
not.
of influencers are invited to a house for a competition with deadly consequences. It has nobody I recognize, but it looks like the drag queen version of Hunger Games. I don't know.
I almost feel like I could be tricked into watching some of these if I didn't know any better.
I kind of no, I know I would not. I cannot watch these based on the cover. I only saw Please Don't Feed the Children, the trailer floating around in my YouTube recommended. That's how I gave a Tubi original a chance. I was like, oh, there's indie horror from like this Tubi thing. It could be good, and then it wasn't. But like I was talking to a friend about it, and she was like, "Oh, well, what do you expect? This fucking Tubi original?" I was like, "Well, I had no expectations. Look, you got to level with me." And I see some OJ movies at the bottom. OJ, how he really did it. OJ, the most famous murderer, OJ Simpson trial. Like, okay, isn't the guy dead now?
I feel like yes.
I think he died last year.
Could be tricked into watching these is because a lot of these posters have actors that I've seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And usually if you are invested in an actor, you might give something a chance. Like we all know now that Bruce Willis hasn't been cognitively active for the better half of the last decade. But if you didn't know that, ooh, a Bruce Willis movie on Tubi? Oh boy. And then there's something in here with Mike Colter. What is this movie called? Murder City. I don't know what that's meant to imply, but Mike Colter is in it. Maybe I should check it out. No, it probably is bad. A disgraced ex-cop is forced to work for a ruthless kingpin to pay off his father's debt and protect his family. 1 hour and 31 minutes. Yeah, that's definitely bad. Oh, the other one. Crescent City. Oh, never mind. That's not a Tubi original. But it's got Terrence Howard, Alec Baldwin on the cover. Like, if it is crap, I wouldn't know. What do they have on Tubi Kids? So in the marquee, they have Tom and Jerry, Hit Pig. What is Hit Pig?
Hit Pig. You know, like Hit
Yogi
Monkey, except he's a
Bear.
pig,
Ah,
right?
Mighty Joe Young. Annie. Oh, that's weird. There's some Disney stuff in here. Or did Disney just publish those?
Tubi Kids. Oh, I think I used Tubi on my TV like once, and I found an episode of the Mario Show. I was like, all right, that was weird. And I found an episode. I found a Christmas episode of whatever iteration the Cat in the Hat is on right now.
Oh, the Cat in the Hat knows a lot about that? Or is there another
Yes,
show?
it was that one. Yeah,
Okay.
there's so many monster movies. Like there's Monster Family, Mummy, I'm a Zombie.
It always fascinates me that, like, services are able to rope in all of these shows into their services. Like, what goes into that? I'm always wondering. Like, the show gets made, it exists. The people that paid for it to get made obviously want to get some of their money back, but like, are they not investing in their own distribution? Like, how much are they getting back by getting someone else to distribute it?
I think the goal is that they know that they don't even want to go through the hassle of hosting it somewhere, so they just
They're
sell
like,
the
yeah,
rights
nobody
to
gives
somebody
a
else.
flying fuck about Casper and
Yeah.
Wendy. You want that shit? Here you go.
Yeah, they just sell the distribution rights to just make the money that way. It's like because like Tubi is airing all this for free, so if they're gonna acquire it, so the other companies be like, okay, we'll pay for it then.
I guess
Now
it
they
would be
got-
like a flat fee situation as opposed to like a revenue share.
And I see this the Asylum's version of the Little Mermaid was totally not an AI cover.
Damn.
Like it's pretty bad.
Which is weird because like the actual movie is animated, right? They couldn't just re-render
Yes, it
a
is.
new still.
Mm-hmm.
That's nuts.
They had to make it enticing to be clicked on. Like if you see their actual 3D models, you would probably not click on it. And they have, I forgot about this movie. This is the movie that they said was fat phobic, like a long ass time ago.
Oh, she's like large, but then when she wears the shoes, she's
Yeah, she becomes skinny.
and then she has dwarf friends. What are the dwarfs there for?
I don't know. They're just the dwarves. Red Shoes and the Seven Dwarves.
Yeah, I never saw this movie. It looked bad.
It is bad. This tastes like crap. It is crap. Well, they have. Yeah, anyway, I'm done looking at this. Have you guys been playing anything?
I've kind of regressed in terms of gaming. I think I say that every episode. But I just keep playing less and less games, and I keep coming back to my PlayStation Vita. Yeah, that's right. Another ad for the PlayStation Vita, a console you could buy, but why would you?
You're doing advertising for the Vita.
I
I'll give you something eventually.
I put a bunch of GBA games on there, and I've been slowly going through all of the games I used to own. So I've been playing Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, the GBA version, not the PS2 version. Baldur's
PS2
Gate
one
Dark
is ass.
Alliance, which also has a PS2 version that is vastly superior. Sims, The Herbs, which again, I could be playing on PS2, but there's just something about crunchy GBA graphics that is perfect for playing at like 10 p.m. before I go to sleep. Oh, I've also been playing Muso All Stars. I think the English title is just like Warriors All Stars. It's an offshoot from the Dynasty Warriors style of games where they take the protagonists from all of Konami's most popular games. No, not Konami, Koei. Koei Tecmo's most popular games. So like the Deception series, characters from that are in there. The Atelier series, characters from that are in there. The Warriors series, of course, which it built entirely on top of. Characters from Ninja Gaiden also make an appearance. And the premise is all of these characters were sucked into another world. They were isekai'd against their will by a bunch of magical furry creatures. It's not entirely clear to me what type of animal these creatures are supposed to be. I guess they might be wolves or foxes or something, but they're anthropomorphic and they are locked in a generational conflict of some kind where 3 of them are leaders of their respective kingdoms, but they're at war for a reason that has not been explained yet so far in the story. And the game very generously starts you out with what's her name? Deception 4. Legrina. Weird name. And she is from Deception 4. It's a game where you travel a map and there are some goons that are coming after you. And in this version of the game, they're coming after you because you are the devil's daughter and you're there to do some evil. And it is just very convenient that everyone going after you is also evil. So it's okay that you're killing them by letting them chase you around and then you lure them into your magical traps. And they translated that into Musou All-Stars very well. You press the attack button like you do in every Musou game, but it will produce a trap in front of you. So wherever you're looking, it's going to throw a trap there, and it will cycle through several different traps in sequence. So it adds a neat spin to the gameplay where I am consciously like thinking about what traps do I have like in my holster. I just threw down 2 traps, so I have a number 3 trap, and so I'm moving my positioning to make sure that I don't waste a number 3 trap. And similar, like conscious decision making is given to the other characters. Like Ryu from Ninja Gaiden has a lot of very quick movements, and your spatial awareness with him is more so just figuring out how to actually like target enemies. But that also means he's terrible at crowd control. So playing with Ryu is a bit slower. It's pretty fun. A lot of people wrote off the game. They were like, what is this crossover bullshit? This looks stupid. I hate the furry creatures. They are ugly, but it is super fun to play. And for anyone that does not want to get a Vita, it is on Steam. PC port does run pretty well. It's probably on the consoles too. I don't know. But yeah, that's me.
I have not been playing too much, but I have started replaying The Outer Worlds,
Ooh.
which is kind of a fun little RPG. It has a sequel coming out in like a monthish or something, or like 2 weeks or something like that.
I never finished that. It kind of felt like it came and went because people didn't really get excited for it. I'm glad that it was popular enough to warrant a sequel, though.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was all right. It definitely was a little like I didn't play the DLCs. I'm gonna play those now and see like maybe those fix it up. But I remember when I played it, it did feel a little like it was missing something, kinda.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel the same way. I'm glad that they got another chance to go at it and add stuff. But
Yeah,
I
it would
figure-
really suck if Obsidian like just went out of business. You know, all of the hot smoke people were blowing up their asses after New Vegas. It would be really sad if that went to waste.
But yeah, I'm not too far into that, so I don't really want to speak to anything on it yet.
Makes sense.
So that's pretty much. Actually, I have been reading some comic stuff. I'm just catching up, really. I read like the Absolute Batman 11. Wild to think that we're at 11 right now.
Yeah. because it has been coming out like monthly.
Yeah, has it really been that?
Have I
It
really
has
been
been
thinking about
7 months.
Absolute Batman for almost a year?
Wow.
Similar premise with the Ultimate books as well. Like, I try not to think about it, but we're pretty close to the end,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
I try not to
Yeah.
get mad because it feels like Ultimate Spider-Man is just getting started.
Yeah. I have
Hmm.
purchased issue 20, but not read it yet. I just picked it up yesterday. Did I tell you guys about the what's happening with the Predator Kills the Marvel Universe book?
I'm sorry.
I think this is the first time I've heard of that.
Have I told? Oh man, have I not told you any guys about any of the whole Predator universe stuff in Marvel Comics right now?
No.
I remember some Alien stuff, but not Predator.
Oh yeah, well Ben Percy has been doing a ton of this for like a minute now. He did a mini on like Predator versus Wolverine or Wolverine. I can't remember if it's Predator versus Wolverine or Wolverine versus Predator. Let me see really quick. But he did a mini of that. Then he did one with Black Panther. I really liked the Wolverine mini because Wolverine has such a long history that he could tell it so that each issue was a different instance of Wolverine running into the same predator again at a different point in his life. It was very, so because he's so old, it was very cool. But they had that one. They had another one recently that was the Predator and Black Panther, and that revolved some like getting some of that mineral and stuff from Wakanda. Then recently there was a Predator Spider-Man where there's a Predator in like New York City, and the Craven the Hunter is also hunting, and he ends up going off into space. So at the end of the Predator versus Spider-Man, so then Predator kills the Marvel Universe or versus Marvel Universe, whatever the title of it is, comes out. The plot of it is we have the Predator from the Black Panther mini. He's all geared up from the Wakanda adventure and his little storyline. And then we have Craven has shown them all lists of all the people, like all the threatening people on Earth, like all the superheroes and stuff, and who you have to kill first because they're like most powerful people, and who you have to worry about, and like these are all the targets. And they just start off by killing Fantastic Four off on like a moon base or something. And so they go, and he's like, the only thing that I ask is that in this big thing I get Spider-Man, but you can do the rest. We're gonna hunt them all down. It's it's wild.
I'll have to check
Amazing.
that out. It sounds like a good concept for a crossover.
Yeah, it's great. And there is a Captain America versus Aliens coming.
Ooh.
Oh, and Alien Earth is at 4 episodes now. That I recommend it. I won't talk about it now. I'll wait till it gets a little further in, but like so good.
I have heard good things already from a lot of sources.
Yeah, every now and then I'll check to see what the 5-star blurbs are saying. And a lot of the praise is vague, but it is still on my watch list. I'm behind on King of the Hill, I'm realizing. I've stuck to my rule of just watching one episode of the new season per week. And yeah, it's been 6-ish weeks. The last episode I watched was Peggy's Fade Out. That was a crazy episode. Hank discovers that Bill started socializing at a barber shop, but also B basically lied to them about his entire life and also lied about Hank, telling them that Hank is a depressed loser who relies on Bill to not be suicidal. And Bill is actually married to Peggy, and then brought them like photoshopped photos of Peggy that make her look way sexier than she actually
Oh,
is. And so, of course, Hank gets mad. And in an effort to, like, I guess, end it, he kills off Peggy in his elaborate lie, assuming that that would be the end of it. But all the people at the barber shop then go to his house to like help him mourn. So there's a really funny moment where Peggy goes over to, I assume, like tell Bill off, like, hey, cut that out. But then she overhears him like posthumously glazing her and talking about like what a cool person she is. And, Peggy and her ego, she's fine with it at that point. Very well written show. There's also a B plot involving Bobby and Min. No, not Min. What is that girl's name?
Connie?
Connie. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess that whole thing that she's doing where the guy she's dating, she's in an open relationship.
Yeah, with a Chang Wasang, I think, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's a business partner thing. I've seen some people not like that so much. I didn't mind it, but
I thought it
think-
was funny.
yeah, I thought it was a good episode.
I do have to go soon. I don't know how to end that.
No, we can wrap it.
That's actually a pretty good segue. We are, what is this, like 2 hours in?
Mm-hmm.
This would be a good place to end the podcast. Anything to plug? Anything people should look up so that they can follow you?
Nothing to plug right now. Quick PSA: do not play Acecraft Sky Hero. That's all I'm going to say.
The mobile game?
Yeah,
Oh, you'll have to talk about that on the next episode.
yeah.
I need to hear about why I shouldn't play it because everyone I know was playing it.
It's like 2 days old.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my stuff is always on Blue Sky. And what about you, Jim?
I need to put more effort into vqcd.in because I grow ever more distrustworthy of social networking platforms, even though they are useful for connecting everyone.
Well, this has been Sweetheart. Everyone is just going to have to figure it out.